Hi guys, and welcome back to Chip's Green World. This week we're in the courtyard, restyling for the spring and summer season. So there's going to be a lot of moving pots about, bringing out things like this little acer whose lime green leaves are just starting to unfurl. Right, so let's start with the biggest pots. These hollies have to move, as I've earmarked this space for the two big urns. I'm hoping they'll tuck in nicely behind the obelisks. Here they won't be so prominent in the way, and this will become their new home. And we'll just leave the hollies here for now, and we'll decide where to put them later. Right, so let's get these urns moved. I am going to be leaving the japonicas in the urns for now, and the ivy, but I will be taking the robins out. Not today though, I'll probably do that next week. This is going to have to be in two parts, because there's a lot to do. So most of the potting, repotting and planting will be probably in next week's vlog, or the week after. You know what I'm like, guys. Most of the time I'm stood around scratching my head wondering what to do next. This is what's taking up the majority of the time. If I just got on with it, I could probably get it all done this week. But that's the design process for you guys. You've got to stand back, have a look and make sure you're doing the right thing. Take your time. Make sure it's right. And I think that urn's working well there. I like the fact that you can see through the base of the urn, which looking through will give us glimpses of the hostas and the ferns, which would be quite nice. So let's move the other holly and we can then move the other urn into place. I did think about putting the big ferns into these urns, but the problem with that, they would have to be at the back of the courtyard and I think they would be lost. So I've decided just to move them behind the obelisks, and that way when I do come round to taking the japonicas out, I can then think about filling them with summer blooms, which should look beautiful. And if you're wondering, are these heavy? They are extremely heavy. So let's get this put down on here and move on to, I've got an idea to put for now the little Christmas yew trees at the front where the urns used to be. I think they'll complement the obelisks, they won't get in the way as much as the urns did, and they're easier to move once I do start the decking on the back of the house. So these can live here for the time being on a trial period, and I'll see how I feel about them. So one in place, let's get the other one in place, and then I think I'm going to end it for today and let's move on till tomorrow, where it's a bit windier and there's a bit of painting going on. Right, on to moving more pots. The pots we moved yesterday we're moving again, and it's a much chillier day today, so I've got my jumper on. So the goal is to move all these pots because I need to get to the tall white pots, as today I'm going to be painting them. They've been annoying me for a while and I put up with them, but they have to go. They were great outside my old house. They used to go either side of the back door and they looked lovely. But in this courtyard they just don't fit in. I was thinking about changing the pots, but the box are perfectly happy here. I love the pots, they're great pots, they're just the wrong colour. So I'm getting the paintbrush out. I did trial a bit of paint on these a couple of years ago, but then I decided against it, thinking, give them another chance. But their time is up. And today's the day. And there we go. I'm using a dark slate colour paint. It is the same paint I used on the fence, so I haven't gone out and bought new paint. I'm giving them a second coat now, and I think these will fit in so much better. You really don't see the pots in summer when all the hostas and the ferns are in front of them, but in winter they were really bugging me, so I think this is a good decision. Let's hope the paint sticks. And there you go, I think they're looking beautiful. I think that's a good decision. It complements the green so much better, and they blend in. So let's give them time to dry overnight while we move on to the next day, where you guessed, we're moving more pots. And today let's hope we can get some of these pots in place. We seem to have pots scattered all over at the moment. We've also got a big empty pot here which is meant to be filled. So let's hope we get some order today, and then we can start planting next week. We've even got this little climber in flower that should have been planted last year, so let's get that in the ground. We've got the new pots for the bonsai trees, the oak and the acer, so we'll have to get them potted up and pruned. I might do that on a separate video, so we'll see. I managed to prune all the red berries off the japonica, so it's not looking so Christmassy now. And that is skimmer Avicii. But I've got to take the red robin out of here. I've pruned it back, but now I need to take it out and plant it somewhere else. I may put something else in its place. I've got a few ideas, but we'll see. It's still a work in progress. Right, so on to today's work, and let's get these pots moved, because I've decided that the little hollies in the terracotta pots are going to go at the front of the courtyard either side. They'll get plenty of sun there, which they enjoy. And eventually, once the decking is in place and the steps run down the centre of the decking, the holly balls then will go either side of the steps. So I'll just put the other one here for now. This will go the other side, but the other side needs to be sorted first. So now let's start moving some of the pots at the back, because my next plan is to raise the ferns at the back and also the brunnera at the back by putting bricks underneath them. But before we can do that, we need to sort these pots out that are in the way. So that's the pots moved. While I'm waiting for Gypsy Boy to get me the bricks from the garage, let's tackle the japonicas from the Christmas display. Now the flowers are finished, it's time to prune them. And this one also needs to be repotted, but I'll do that next week. Prune it now, pot it up next week. And now the japonicas moved, let's put the little oak on the courtyard table and the acer in the middle, and we'll pair it up with a fern. Just for now, as these two trees are going to have a repot next week or the week after. That'll do for now. Right, let's get pruning the japonicas while we're waiting for Gypsy Boy and his bricks. And of course, all these pots are in the way, so more moving pots. In a small space, all you ever do is move pots, so be warned, folks. And for those of you who are interested in the japonica's name, it's Skimmer Japonica rubella. And now we move on to the Japonica twins, whose names are Skimmy Japonica perosa. And there we go, all the Japonicas looking fresh as daisies. We'll put these two back in the middle for now, and the larger one will be getting a big pot in the shady corner, but that'll be next week. We've also got our bricks from Gypsy Boy. Nice. And while he's out here, he may as well give this place a sweep. And there we go, that's the two large ferns that have been raised up, and the bunner has also been raised up. So now we can start putting back some of the pots. It won't be exact, because until they start popping their little heads up, I won't know which ones are which. I've just been topping up this lily of the valley with some compost, as it seems to have sank, so now I'm going to do the other one. Just sprinkling an inch of compost over the new shoots that are popping up, just to cover the exposed roots. We don't want them drying out, and that should solve that problem. Right, now to put all the hostas back, not in any particular order, because like I say, until they start showing, I'm not going to know which ones are dwarf and which ones are tall. So I'll rearrange these next weekend when we do the planting. Should have a better idea which is in which pot by that time. Right, that's them all back. Now to address the ferns in the centre, as they're looking a bit shabby, so we need to cut all the dead away to make room for all the new fronds to unfurl. First putting Nandinia into the shady corner for now. She'll need a repot later on. So there you go guys, I think that's as far as we can take it this week. Let's quickly put the white azalea back in its spring home. We will probably be back in the courtyard next week finishing off. I will be posting updates through the week on the Patreon page. So if you're in a position to support the channel via Patreon, check out the Patreon link in the description or on the channel page. If you can't become a patron, I completely understand, and there's other ways of supporting the channel, like liking and sharing the videos. Either way, I thank you all, and I will see you all very soon. Have a great week, all the best, and bye for now.